Hey, this is Nate from Alesis, and we're at Winter NAMM 2014. I'm with MikeDolbear.com, and I'm going to show you some new stuff for drummers at the show. So, the first thing I want to talk about is the Alesis Sample Pad Pro. So the Sample Pad Pro is really the evolution of our Sample Pad and Perk Pad products, and it has 8 pads, so 6 main pads, 2 upper, 8 total. We have an onboard drum module with 10 kits and about 200 sounds. And we also ship it with a fully loaded SD card, which is a 32 gig SD card, and a software utility where you can drag and drop your WAV or MP3 files to do easy kit management on the software. So you can of course customize what's on that SD card for samples. Also, I'll show you the back panel here. The story on the back panel is we give you a couple extra trigger inputs. Of course, you have your standard main outs and your MIDI I/O. All the SD card management is done over USB. You don't need an external SD card reader. You have an assignable foot switch. You have hi-hat and kick inputs with switches, so it's compatible with whatever you're using. Headphone output, power switch, and an auxiliary input for an external audio source with its own volume control. So from Sample Pad Pro, everything that I just mentioned is true for Sample Rack. Sample Rack is a one-use solution with the same onboard module with 10 kits and about 200 sounds, ships with the same fully loaded 32 gig SD card with sounds from Air and Sonobox. You have your headphones and your auxiliary input on the front panel, and on the back panel, I mentioned everything was the same, so here's the difference. Instead of 8 pads, we give you 8 triggers on the back panel. You still have your USB and your transfer to your computer, your MIDI I/O, your main outs, 8 trigger inputs, and your hi-hat and your kick with the switches, assignable foot switch. Now, let's talk about what these products are really solving. The problems are really solving here. Sample Pad Pro can be used in standalone mode or controller mode, and you're bringing in your own custom samples through the SD card. You can be running loops, multi-layers, you can be running backing tracks, whatever you want to do with this. Sample Rack is not only the same solution with triggers instead of pads and a 1U, but it's really the bridge for the software-based drummer to take plugins and software and get out to either an acoustic kit with triggers or a fully electronic kit. So really great solution. So the other thing I want to address, and this is kind of a hot topic, and we know it is, so the Alesis DM dock is, well, it's not dead. That's the first thing I'll address. But the DM dock we have shown a couple times, and the reason it's taken a bit of a long time to get to market is because we know iPads went from 30 pin to Lightning. We put the time in, and we are shipping it with the solution of both connectors. So basically, we flip the cable to the outside, so it's a movable cable. It works with 30 pin or Lightning iPads. We ship it with a height adjustment in there, so it accommodates iPad Air. And you can read about the tech specs online. It's been out there for a little while. We're going to ship it in Q2 this year. Sorry for the delay. That's the best I can say. But it's going to work with all iPads, and we're going to get it out to you guys. So let's talk about other new stuff for drummers. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the DRP100 drum reference phones, so drum reference headphones. So these are not just isolating headphones, but they are drum monitor headphones, so they have 40mm drivers. Really nice headphone solution where nice and comfortable, nice flex, not too much tension on your head. So the adjustment, it's really a one-size-fits-all headphone because this silicone headband is adjustable, but it also really stays put when you're sweating and playing drums. So the silicone material, really stays in place. The other cool part is on the back of the left ear cup, we position the cable, which is a detachable 1/8" cable, so it's replaceable for whatever you want, and if it breaks, you don't have to buy a new set of headphones. But we put it on the rear part of the ear cup, so it goes right down your back and stays out of your way when you're playing. They're not flat frequency response. They're voiced for drum monitoring, so we have the right kind of increases and decreases across the frequency spectrum, so they're super punchy for drums. Really nice drum monitoring headphones. So, I have one more thing for you. It's on this side. We're going to walk over here. Alright, so the last thing here at the booth from Alesis at Winter NAMM 2014 is we are doing a new powered drum wedge. So the Transactive 400 is the largest drum wedge we've ever done. It's the first stage-worthy wedge we've ever done. It's 200 watts continuous, 400 watts peak. Really simple inputs and outputs. It's 2 stereo in. It is stereo in left and right, stereo out left and right. And we have a link output, so you can daisy chain these, or you can run your signal to a main PA system. That just has a left, right, and stereo switch. Really easy to use. We have a 3-band EQ on the top panel, standard IEC power supply. The other kind of detail we Really easy. It's never going to hit you in this like real painful spot at the top of your wrist when you're carrying it either two-handed or one-handed. So it is Class D digital amplification, a 12-inch driver, a 1-inch tweeter, a nice crossover, voiced in that same way that the drum headphones are voiced, where it's not flat response, it's just super punchy for drums. So it's purpose voiced for drums. We have the bass port on the front, so we get that extra low end, and you know, really cool piece. We're excited to do a drum monitor that's worthy of being played in a full band and on stage, especially if you link these as multiple wedges together. Really cool piece. So that's what we have at Winter NAMM 2014 from Alesis. And you know, check out MikeDolbear.com for more info, and check out Alesis.com from there. And we'll have more coming to you soon as the year goes on. We're pretty excited about what the future holds for Alesis drums and percussion.